Hello there, and welcome to episode 5 of Winning the War with AEW and Ring of Honor. Today we are back with our second episode of Ring of Honor TV, but before we get into that, I would like to give a thank you, and it's to all of you guys, because yesterday's video, the ECW Experiment Part 1, is the best performing first day I've ever had on this channel. And I just want to thank you guys for that. And I want to ask now if there's any, if as well as a part 2, which will be coming out next Wednesday, is there any other experiments you would like to see attempted on TEW? Let me know in the comments down below. And let's keep this train up. Can you give this video a thumbs up? Make sure you subscribe. And let's get these numbers rolling. But first up, let's go and see. What's Ring of Honor got with the second match of our Survival of the Fittest tournament, and a focus and a women's division main event? Let's have a look. And we kick off with the Survival of the Fittest match. 170 people in the Belleville Civic Centre. So, you know, we are much smaller crowds for Ring of Honor than we have at Dynamite, and Ian Riccoboni and Caprice Common still work well together at the announce table, which is great news. Preston Vance picks up the win, though, in this first round tournament match, when he pins Toni Nese with the pounce. It's a good match. I think Nese is somebody who I do almost see as an enhancement talent. He is very talented, but he almost has a taint on him. I feel like we need to do a complete character reset on him to get him to the point where I think he is justifiable as a potential top level guy. Whereas Preston Vance, number 10, doesn't really have that same just taint on him. He doesn't have the baggage holding him back. And I think that is a very important thing to consider. And so when I book this match, I do think Preston Vance should advance in the tournament, which I believe does mean we have our first semi-final officially booked. It's going to be Preston Vance versus Dante Martin, I believe. And that will be happening at the Survival of the Fittest pay-per-view. 51 rating, 42 for Vance, 51 for Nese. Not too bad. We then get a hype package for Richard Holiday. I'm going to be slowly going through the process of changing the product, getting it more sort of to an AEW product rather than the pure wrestling it has been with Ring of Honor. Whilst pure wrestling is absolutely still going to be a focus of this Ring of Honor, I feel like as we are now using this as a developmental territory for AEW, I feel it is much more fitting to make sure that we are training these people in the style of AEW, making sure that that when they come up onto the main roster, their ratings aren't just going to tank because they were massively helped by the Ring of Honor product. A great example I always use is whenever you book PWG, Ray Phoenix always gets like 90 ratings because he matches the PWG style. But if you use him on AEW, he'll get in the low 70s or 80s if you're lucky. In the early game, obviously. When you build him up, he can get into massive high ratings because he's so good. But I do think it is interesting, the different products affect the different ratings, so that is why I'm going to try and get a ROH into the AEW system. But Richard Holiday gets a vignette showing off his wealth. He is going to be eventually we are going to be reuniting him with MJF. But that is years down the line. So right now we are trying to establish him as his own rich heel. 39 rating. We get another promo here as FTR cut this promo, and they're talking about holding these tag titles. The Ring of Honor tag team title, the AAA tag team title, the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. They have all this gold. They feel like the Triple Crown of tag team wrestling. The best. The Triple Crown means you're the best. It's what it meant in the 90s. And just look at our belts now. It's what it means now. So, if people want to come and take this away from us, You're going to be fighting tooth and nail. You could fight for the rest of your lives. We are not going to let this slip out of our hands. We are the greatest tag team in professional wrestling. And that is the way it's going to stay. It's a 52. Cash Wheeler's a good improv, which is nice. Normally these are all focused on Dax, which it's nice that Cash gets a bit of the focus here. 52 rating. Second match of the night, and it is a bit of a return. Similarly, a return that is actually happening tomorrow in real life. But Konosuke Takeshita is here in Ring of Honor. We're using him in Ring of Honor. He's going to be a great little hand for us for a few matches. We're just doing one pay-per-view cycle with him. He'll probably disappear for a bit, come back later, do another pay-per-view cycle. That's what we're going to do with Takeshita, because he's exclusive written to DDT and loyal. So we need to wait for his contract to expire, where they'll probably give him a handshake deal. Then we can bring him in full-time. Gets a 59 rating, which is the same as Takeshita's rating, and Helico gets a 54. And it is Takeshita, though, who picks up the victory, making Angelico tap out in just over 20 minutes with the walls of Takeshita. The 20 minutes, that's another reason why I want to change the product. Because in this product, fans will be upset if important matches aren't lengthy. I genuinely feel like in this product, matches which are just between two people that are just recognisable is considered important. Unless it's a squash match, the game almost forces you to go 20 minutes, which I don't like. It means we get less on the show. It means the matches are unrealistically long. And I do think there is absolute asset in changing this product just now. But 59 rating for this segment, good stuff. Then get the Embassy backstage. The Embassy want all the gold. They want Cage to be the television champion, or the world champion, or the pure champion even. And Bishop Khan, Toru Leona, they want the tag titles, and the three of them want the 6-man titles. And that is what they're going for. So basically, it's just setting out the Embassy's characters. Nana is rich. He bought these guys to work for him. And now he wants them to go and get gold. He wants repayment on his investment. 35 rating. Not too shabby. Are the Embassy going to make it to gold? Well, I'm not going to spoil it now, am I? Next matchup. Is a 6-man tag team title match, as Dalton Castle and the boys defeat the factory of Aaron Solo, Cole Carter, and Anthony Ogogo. And Dalton Castle pins Cole Carter with the deadlift German. Oh. There they are. Apologise for that. I went to pause it so that I could cough, and I ended up shrinking the recording size. Woo, I'm smart. But yeah, so it is Dalton Castle and the boys who pick up the victory. Castle is head and shoulders above everybody else in the ring. 56. Only people that are, well, the boys are who's next, 38 each. And they're both off. And Brent and Dalton were both off their game. Dalton is somebody who had so much potential, and I think injuries have ruined his chances. But I think we can get him at least back up to a good upper mid-card point, where he's a realistic challenger for the ROH World title again. If he's in a pay-per-view main event, it's believable he might win, but he maybe doesn't touch the world title again. 45 rating though. We then get Chris Jericho. Basically, he's repeating his brag from yesterday on Dynamite. And he gets interrupted by Jay Briscoe and Jay Lethal, the former champions that you specifically mentioned yesterday. And they're basically saying, listen, Chris, if you wanted a fight, you could have just asked. I love a good fight. And basically, they start bickering as to who's the rightful challenger. And Daniels comes out. He is, of course, general manager, commissioner, whatever you want to call it for Ring of Honor. He comes out and he says, we'll sort this. We will settle this next week. Jericho, you will be defending your championship at Survival of the Fittest. And next week, we will find out against who. It will either be Jay Briscoe or Jay Lethal. Both former world champions, both rightful contenders in their own right. Which one will it be? Gets a 59 rating. Good stuff. Sort of continues this whole Jericho versus the Ring of Honor's past, which is eventually probably going to lead to Jericho versus Daniels when he's lost the title, as almost the epitome of ROH's past. Gets a 59, not too shabby. Which leads us into our main event, in what is essentially a number one contenders match. Nixon Newell defeats Allison Kay, AZM, and Willow Nightingale when Nixon Newell pins AZM with the Vulture Culture Destroyer. AZM's come in on a little loan deal from Stardom. Or is it Tokyo Joshi? I don't know which. Or is it Tokyo Joshi? I don't know. Correct me in the comments. Is AZM in Stardom or Tokyo Joshi? I honestly can't remember. Or Sendai Girls. I don't know. It's definitely not Sendai Girls. But yeah, so Nixon Newell picks up the win. Does pin AZM, but AZM almost and Allison Kay get into it a lot throughout this match. It's almost Allison Kay almost does the setup for Nixon Newell to hit the Vulture Culture Destroyer, but gets taken out by Willow, let's say. So Allison Kay believes that she should have won this match. And, you know, in-ring wise, Nixon Newell is the highest rating. Willow is unfortunately the lowest rating, with Allison Kay and AZM both in the mid-40s, which, considering AZM's pop is in the single digits, is very impressive. But gets a 50 rating, and that is the main event. Nixon Newell will go on to face Mercedes Martinez when she's back from injury. It's a 50 rating. And overall, what did we get? It's a 52, which again, for Ring of Honor, is great. Whilst if we were to get a 52 in Dynamite or Rampage, we'd be panicking. We are not, because this is Ring of Honor. This is a lower company with more developmental talent. We need to work on this. But increase our pop in 53 regions. Great stuff. And well, next episode will be Rampage. So let me know in the comments down below what you guys think we should do in the build-up to Full Gear and Survival of the Fittest. It's all up in the air. What would you guys do? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.